In the public interest to appoint a special counsel, live stream video, Merrick Garland announces Jack Smith as a special counsel against President Trump 3 days after announcing his 2024 bid for president. All right, let's go ahead and get some opening thoughts on this. And we have our...
Yeah, I was going to say, we have our first super chat of the night, Quest Fanning.
Thank you.
It's 3 days after Trump announces 24, but it's 1 day, not even within 24 hours passing after the House Oversight Committee, led now by Republicans, tells the world we're investing the Bidens for human trafficking,
right,
conspiracy to defraud the United States, and a plethora of other high crimes and misdemeanors. So that is not something that they can just brush off. It's not just, hunters being targeted. Nothing to do with the president. It is the president being investigated. And within 24 hours, they have a shot back across the aisle, which is, now we're going to appoint another special counsel to try to railroad Trump again. And this time we're going to have it. The third time's the charm.
Yeah. I get lost on all the special counsels that they have on Trump, and every time they try to come after him with some lawsuit or something. We end up talking about lawsuits every other month. And then I make fun of it, and then people in the comments rip me apart, and then that lawsuit goes nowhere. It's just like that one not that long ago. What was it? He bragged about having more money than he's got, and I was like, this is the stupidest thing ever. And then are we still hearing about that? It's just like when they raided Trump at Mar-a-Lago. We were told just this week, by the way, it was just because he liked to collect useless papers that he thought were trophies, which is what we all said at the time.
Yeah, their whole excuse for raiding him was, he has an ego. That he had so many things he took, it's just to feed his ego. Instead of saying, for posterity, for the historical record of keeping things that are from a president's office, he maintained them because the Records and Archives Office refused to, even though they did for every other president up until then. So he took his things home versus throwing them away, like letters from the president of France. Why wouldn't you keep that?
Yeah.
But at the time, they tried to convince us that he stole nuclear codes or something.
Oh, yeah. And
sure.
and schematics of how to build your own nuclear missile he was going to sell off to Russia.
I 3D printed my own nuclear warhead just yesterday.
So as we look into, as we're going into this new special counsel, which of course Marjorie Taylor Greene and I believe Kevin McCarthy, as much as I despise him, have already come out and said they're not going to fund it.
Right.
So does it move on without it being funded?
But I think Tom's right. I don't think that was the point. I think the point was to get everybody to talk about the Trump news story, not the Biden being investigated for human sex trafficking and all this other stuff. I mean, it's
a clear deflection.
Working. Yeah.
Yeah. So we come down here a little bit. It says Democrats have officially transformed the United States into a banana republic. As Christine Lally reported earlier, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland will appoint a special counsel to investigate whether criminal charges should be filed against Trump. Trump earlier this week announced his 2024 bid to the White House, so Biden's DOJ is running interference. The corrupt Department of Justice will investigate President Trump on the White House documents he brought with him to Mar-a-Lago when he left office, and for the junk insurrection charges they accuse him of after the January 6th protest. This is going to be a garbage attack on President Trump. The Biden regime and certain Republicans are out to destroy him, so the populist movement in America will just go away. This isn't just a new January 6th investigation.
I don't know that this is a deflection from or I don't think it's what they're editorially accusing it of being. I don't think that the Gateway pundit is 100% right to assume it's because he announced he's running. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I know why. Because Merrick Garland said in his decision to appoint a special counsel, weighed the fact that Donald Trump just announced he's running. So it's in the country's best interests to now try to block him because he's announced. That just tells me they were waiting to do this anyway. Whether or not he announced, and that's what they were going to see if he made his big announcement or not, he was going to appoint a special counsel. It was going to be after the election, and they were hoping that they could make it be the camouflage for when they finally go after Biden. And I think that's what it is. And I think the Hoffs should look at that and go, there's news that Biden is being investigated, and immediately we hear Donald Trump a special counsel again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's crazy too, because with the Biden stuff, it's like with Trump, it's always, here's some, leak unconfirmed source that says he had the nuclear football or he had some nuclear codes or whatever. His Victor Shogun call was bad for some reason. And it's always some leaked anonymous source, and it's always BS. And with Biden, we have actual evidence we've been seeing on the internet for 2 years, where you can, if you want to, go and find Hunter Biden doing numerous crimes. You can see the text messages. You can see all of the transactions, 10% to the big guy. And then one of the guys in the conspiracy comes out and says, yes, the big guy literally does mean Biden. It's like you're weighing unconfirmed, maybe sources that always turn out to be true and documented evidence. And we're still, and they'll still run with the, well, one guy said something about someone maybe one time.
Speaking of that, about Biden, as you mentioned, this story resurfaced again. This
from
was
Poroshenko. These are the ones we need to listen to.
Right.
Take a listen.
His voice tenser now than before.
This is getting very, very close. What I don't want to have happen, I don't want Trump to get in the position where he thinks he's about to buy onto a politics where the financial system is going to collapse and he's going to be looked to pour more money into Ukraine. That's how he'll think about it before he gets sophisticated enough to know the details.
In other words, Biden does not want Ukraine asking for more money from Trump. Doing so would cause Trump to look into the details.
So anything you can do to push the Privat Bank to closure so that the IMF loan comes forward, I would respectfully suggest is critically important to your economic as well as physical security.
That's a threat.
Security. Yes, it was a threat.
So he's saying not only will we bleed your country out, but you, oh my God. And that's been out there for 4 years. So Juan, if you were gonna call the shot, why are they waiting on this? Why is this being slow rolled in the justice system of the United States?
No, they're all in it. They're all in bed together. It's Ukraine, the Democrats, the establishment.
Right.
I'm pretty sure even people in the media are well, they not only want to cover things up, but because they're Democrat, but I'm pretty sure maybe there's people in the media who are involved in this stuff.
Well, yeah, besides the Hunter Biden laptop and all the crimes we've seen there and the 10% to the big and all that stuff, how many different stories have to come out where Biden is doing absolutely corrupt stuff in Ukraine, documented, and that goes nowhere? This week was another huge story. We have $60 billion that went to Ukraine, at least. I don't remember exactly the number, but it's at least $60 billion of taxpayer money went to Ukraine. The Bank of Ukraine then bought $100 million of a fake crypto coin in order to secure weapons and war provisions. And then that crypto coin that was totally fake and went bankrupt and told everybody to get bent sent $70 million, $40 million to specifically Democrats just for this midterm, another $25 to $30 million to establishment Republicans, quote unquote, forward-thinking Republicans who wanted to support Ukraine and who were in support of the lockdowns. So you've got the establishment, the Uniparty getting $70 million kickback from this obvious money laundering scandal. And then before that, what was it? Biden's over there like, hey, you're not going to get this $100 million or whatever $1 billion if you don't fire the prosecutor looking into my son. How many crimes in Ukraine have to be just thrust in our face before anything happens? And instead, they're going to slow roll an investigation out and then blanket coverage over some BS Trump investigation instead. Thank you so much for checking out this clip from the Last American Pubcast, the only podcast where everybody knows your name. And hey, while you're here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and join us on a Saturday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, you might get stuck with the tab.